As we approach the release of a new base set, Convergence spoilers are coming in hot and fast.
We take a look at some of the new cards and what types of changes we'll see in gameplay.
This is episode 120. It's spoiler season.
You have been well trained.
No. You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Oh, do not.
I'm not afraid.
Please don't try.
Bow wow. That was actually really smooth. Every time I run this show, it's never that smooth. Maybe because I have Discord running at the same time, too.
Oh,
and now I don't, because we're in the... I know, isn't that crazy?
We should do this every week.
We should do... I didn't, and I apologize, I didn't take the time to, reconfigure my entire office to, fit another human being in here. So we shoved her in the corner.
And I keep leaning the wrong direction.
And I keep facing you good. What's going on here? And if you're listening to this via podcast, then you have absolutely no... But hopefully the audio quality will be better, because there's only...
Yeah.
Muffler
Man can't make an appearance?
Just my daughter. My daughter is still around somewhere.
She's fine.
Does your husband snore? Because he's probably going to sleep pretty soon.
I would not be surprised if he's already asleep.
Oh, well, thank you, Tab, for noticing that we're both in the same spot. Hey. But, of course, we're here to talk about Star Wars.
Destiny?
Well, I mean, this first section that says Freeform Star Wars. So we could talk about any Star Wars stuff here, usually. But there's nothing in the script for us to talk about.
Because I hung out with you today and didn't fill in my portion of the script.
Did you? But you went to the Star Wars store today. Did you see anything you wanted?
I almost bought a Millennium Falcon bag.
Oh, the shoulder bag with the blueprints? That's pretty cool.
That's on my short list of things that may come home with me.
Fair enough.
I'm going to look it all over.
Okay. Well, I mean, some places you won't get back to.
That's true. That's okay. I can always order it on the thing. Oh, wrong way. I almost brought Chewie in the luggage with me. The automatic, the one from hashtag episode 117. Because I figured one, Ray would like it.
She probably would.
And two, but then I thought I don't need the TSA on me about Wookiee sounds coming from my luggage.
No, you already had them on you about your Cliff Bars.
Man, I already got stopped for Cliff Bars.
You know what she did?
Don't put Cliff Bars in your carry-on bag or your book bag because they think it's drugs. Don't do it.
Don't bring dice. Don't bring Cliff Bars.
I find something every. They didn't care about my board games that were in there. They didn't care about those.
Of course not.
They didn't like my healthy Cliff Bars. They had to run them over with a wand, and they did put them back in my bag.
Well, that's good. Oh, man.
Exciting days at the airport.
Speaking of Star Wars, do you keep up with Star Wars Resistance? I haven't even asked you this question yet.
We haven't. So I like to binge watch my TV shows.
Fair enough.
Because I hate, now that it's 2019, not 93, I don't have to wait for the next, so I just want to binge it all at once. So we were waiting on it to finish, and then I think we're going to sit down and binge it.
Yeah, it's...
So I haven't... From what I'm hearing, though, it's good.
It's gotten much better. I think it's starting to really appeal to the masses as opposed to the chillins.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, because it seemed like Rebels took a little bit to hit their stride with that.
Yeah, and I think, this one will too, but we're really starting to get into some nitty-gritty. I think that
nice.
The true... Not true fans. The real fans of Star Wars will appreciate.
I think fans. I wanted to let it get its legs a little bit too.
Get the meat of the story going.
Well, and get to where it's a little bit more for adults.
I'm still not 100% sure that I'm going to find this. What's wrong? You can't get in the frame.
I keep leaning. I don't know my left. I'm tired. I don't know left from right now.
I don't know. We'll ever see it in Destiny. I think it'd be interesting. It's a different art style. Not to say it doesn't fit with everything else. Cause,
it is, yeah.
We put Rebels in there. I mean, I can see them drawing a more realistic version of these characters, but these characters don't kind of fit in the same world in terms of just how they function.
I gotcha.
So we'll see. Maybe if Kaz ever becomes a Jedi, but I don't think that's in the cards. I'm not. They're staying away from the Force a lot in this show.
I think you'll see a big jump when Disney's stream thing.
For sure.
Which there was just an article about that the other day, and I didn't read it. I want to say that maybe it was the Nerdist, maybe it was somebody, I can't recall who it came out from. It was basically what we know so far about the Disney stream service. But we know there's going to be a Mandalorian show on there, a live action show if I remember correctly. And then there's something else. The Cassian show. So, and this is why we can't do this in the same room. Now I know. I think that could be cool. I think we'll see a lot. I'm excited to see that canon really grow.
Yeah, for sure.
It's an unknown.
It's It's an unknown world. The secret
I'm
underbelly.
real excited about the Mandalorian show.
Yep. Yeah, all this gray area of Star Wars that they are now exploring. Not so much the good and the bad of the dark and the light, but the rebels who are like CIA agents, and then the Mandalorians who are like, who knows where they're affiliated at this point in the storyline. You know, they keep going, flipping sides, and half of them are on one side, half of them the other. So
now, did you hear? Like, this is not Star Wars, but it's Mark Hamill, so therefore it is Star Wars related, in my opinion. Mark Hamill has signed on to do, and I bet there's going to be like 5 people that know what I'm talking about.
There's only 3 people watching right now.
Well, that's okay. 2 more are going to know from listening to the podcast. Mark Hamill has signed on to do a prequel to The Dark Crystal, which is a Jim Henson film from the early 80s. Mm-hmm. It's one of my all-time favorite films. Netflix is doing a prequel, and all that we know is that Hamill has signed on to be a character within the prequel. There's a really good lineup of people, and now I can't remember anybody else.
That's cool. No,
there's a good lineup. He's on some other crazy show, a Viking show or something show. It's going into season 2. It's all like Hamill's getting. He's not just the Joker anymore.
He's getting around.
Like, he's got a resurgence. Like, they gave him a beard. And they went, "Hey, this guy can play like Vikings and stuff. Let's sign him up." Right,
for sure.
See, yeah. Impulse knows what I'm talking about. I told you, like, 3 people are going to know The Dark Crystal. But
Impulse is everywhere.
Oh, that movie's... Have you ever seen The Dark Crystal?
Maybe.
It's so good.
I feel like I need to watch it now.
It's freaky deaky, and if you're a child, it's terrifying.
Well, I will not watch it with my daughter then, which means I probably won't watch it.
The Skeksis she's fine now. The Skeksis are terrifying, and the little bug things that capture... I'm spoiling parts now. So.
No, it's fine. I'm not sure what you're talking about, so it's okay.
Oh, they're so scary.
Sorry for the rant, banter stuff.
This is the most slap happy I've ever been for a show.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I make no promises.
No, I've got definitely another 75 shows with you that I'm sure we can find something more slap happy than this.
Maybe one's on when we used to record on Sunday morning.
Maybe the finals of Nationals 2 years ago.
I was pretty tired.
After you streamed for 2 days straight.
I was pretty tired. I didn't know up from down or left from right. See? Damn. This desk is so nice to lean on.
Yeah, see, yes. Let's go ahead and jump into actually what we're here for,
some news.
Let's start talking about some Star Wars: The Destiny.
Let me take that back, huh? You'll find what you need.
As always, talking about some regional results from this past weekend. It seems that the regionals were
there's a whole lot of regionals going on,
and all on the overseas front.
They had some good showings though. Like, I know that a lot of times they've said that they don't, some communities aren't as large over in Europe and neighboring friends, but one in England had 44. I mean, still even in an area in Denmark had 15. It's still pretty good showings.
For sure. And
some crazy matchups.
And the meta is, I don't want to say it's settling, but we're starting to see what the power decks are. That once we get into that rock paper scissors type of feel. The talk of the town, I think, was Solo Sabine taking taking a couple of spots in some regionals this weekend. Sabine with Calling in Favors. Of course, that's the plot from Way of the Force that really makes some yellow events cheaper. You can
Which
play,
Sabine needs.
And Sabine can really make use of some of those crazy yellow events that are too expensive to play otherwise. Hyperspace jump, not to say it's too expensive, but you can use those resources for other things, get some better upgrades out faster.
Right.
Because
that deck has to stay. I think that deck has to stay fast if it's gonna it doesn't have time to dilly-dally around and wait on resources to put stuff.
Nope, not a bit. Dooku Mother Talzin is doing fairly well. Vader Greedo is still on the table, but not as plentiful as we saw him before.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's because people are just tired of playing him.
They're just people. I think it's been out long enough that people know how to play around it.
Or play around it, yeah.
And this is really you've got this quick age of discovery, right? We notice this every time before a set shifts. It's just it's a free-for-all. I mean, it's let's try these people before they people are still trying to put some, just for funsies, because this is the last shot you're going to have to play these competitively. So why not? I mean, so then you see in Sydney, you've got it was runner-up, but it was an EDJ, E Sienna. We've never seen anything
Right.
I mean, at least up that high.
Yeah, and I mean that seems to fit into the anything with armored reinforcement kind of fits in that whole like giant vehicle philosophy. But seeing DJ in there is an interesting twist to that formula, and also seeing the Yoda Leia mill with taking ground still up there. I have to give a shout out because with the daughter and not being able to play as much. Trying to eat up as much off of YouTube as I can. And my daughter and I, actually Ray, really got engrossed by the Your Destiny chat and plays that they've been doing. So,
oh, yes, you did mention this.
I will give a nice plug for those guys because
they're engaging fellows.
They're engaging and their accents are apparently soothing enough that my daughter was
I really,
watching them play. I'm
really think that the dice are big enough that if you give her a couple, she'll chuck them.
Probably.
I mean, I think she will. And I bet you she rolls better than I do.
Never rolls a blank.
We are going to try that before I go home.
I would. Sure, let's pull some dice out.
Don't eat them, Ray. Just throw them.
Yeah, she may.
If I teach her anything before I leave, it's how to throw dice at you, and then I'm going to leave and go back home.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
At least I didn't teach her bad words. That's next.
That's true. So I know the regional season's wrapping up, right? There's not too much left. We're really ramping up to the release of Convergence.
And then really Galactic Qualifiers, because that seems to be the next.
Yeah, they're ramping up Galactic Qualifiers too, because with Convergence comes the new playstyle, or play format, right? Infinite.
That's going to be wild and crazy, I think, starting off.
So one of the things that happened we talked a little bit about it last week, because Team Covenant had that big event at their...
So bummed I couldn't make it.
That looked really cool. Jeremy was out there. They spoiled a bunch of cards, which we talked about in the last week's show. Zach Blunt also interviewed Jeremy.
Yep.
And one of the things that was asked from someone, I can't remember who asked the question, but they talked about Infinite. It said, is Infinite going to be regulated, or is it going to be the Wild Wild West of Destiny?
Like it. Doo-doo-doo! He's got a Marshall badge. He should be Wild Wild West.
Yes, the credit.
And then throw a little Will Smith in, and then
the Wild Wild West. He seemed hesitant. I think he would love for it to be the Wild Wild West, but he also seemed very hesitant to the idea. Like, if we're going to go to Galactic Qualifiers and say, "Here's Infinite, and you can qualify for Worlds," then you have to balance it out in some way.
That's fair.
He says a holocron's coming.
Since it's being used as a qualifier for Worlds, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
If it were just for funsies and you were just getting tickets, then why not Wild Wild West?
So for all of you folks who love Galactic Qualifiers and have decided to already put all your Awakenings block stuff in your boxes or bags or away because you don't think you're ever going to use it again, leave those force speeds out. Just leave them out because infinite decks force speeds will always be a thing.
Leave your ancients.
All right. Oh, ancients.
What about ancients?
He doesn't like use.
Yeah. So far, my local con. It's not just a little con, but Origins. It's a fairly large.
My little thing that I do. Con, Origins.
Does not have a Galactic Qualifier this year.
Well, they've been staying away from conventions. But
that one is and this is soapbox Kim for a second. That is a very affordable convention. It is like $20 a day to get into. I would think I know they have the big event at Gen Con, and maybe that's why they're not doing it, because you're gonna maybe get the same. I mean, it's in the Midwest bucket, I guess. But we had one there. I'm pretty sure we had one there last year because I remember seeing
you had one there.
Nova, and I was like, I'm sure that we had one last year. So I'm disappointed that they didn't keep one at Origins, because I think it's they had a great turnout for it. It's fairly easily accessible con that's not overly way cheaper to get into than what Gen Con is.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. I mean, OP's changing. Obviously, several of their senior leaders have changed. We're seeing a lot more communication. One of their leaders is actually on the Facebook groups giving out information to people, which is crazy. I mean, FFG is a small company, and that is the way small companies communicate when you think about it. I'm surprised they haven't done it until now. We're still waiting to see what kind of changes are coming out from a lot of their shakeups and their staffing changes. We don't know, where they stand on a PR standpoint or on a branding standpoint. Those are still questions we have.
we're seeing those clarification articles come out. So, like, the clarification about organized play. And I think that was step 1. So I don't know.
It's going to be a process, right? They can't just change everything because you'll
overnight.
freak everyone out.
That's fair. And I hope that maybe they take... I don't know. There's a lot of other companies out there that interact well with their communities.
Yeah.
And so I think there's an opportunity maybe for them to, follow that same pattern.
For sure. I mean, the guy who's now leading it was head of organized play in Europe, I believe. And from what I've seen, like Asmodee in overseas, they ran all of their Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. Like if you wanted to join Star Wars Destiny, in France, like that was run by the company. It was not,
I feel like that would be a little different than what.
Yeah, it would be a big change. I mean, that wouldn't happen now. We're too well established,
but there's a lot of different games that there's a Facebook group run by, like
that
for
company.
that game for like not just fan based run
for sure. But of course, with the subject of the show today, it is spoiler season.
It is.
If the 5 of you are here because you think we have spoilers, we don't.
We don't. But thanks for hoping and praying.
We're hoping and praying too. We're right there with you. But there are plenty of spoilers to talk about.
Mike, I just can't seem to get the cards I need in the booster packs I bought. I'm still missing a Mother Talzin, a Darth Maul, and I need some more battle droids. That 5-wide droid deck isn't going to build itself, and I have all these extra Yodas.
Seriously, Kim, I told you, check out Armada Games. You can buy and sell Destiny cards on their website, shoparmada.com. It's just a few simple clicks and bam, you are done. I used it just the other day, and now I got 2 Maul Sabers heading my way.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? We're in the middle of a break here.
Jason, you know how you've got all those extra cards from all those booster boxes you open? Mike says you can sell them online super easy.
No way, seriously? How? I've got to make room before this next set comes out.
Jason, whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, Armada Games has just what you're looking for. You can buy and sell your Destiny singles all from the comfort of your living room. Pre-order the latest sets of boosters and find the droids you are looking for. You can also check out their selection of Destiny accessories. And you'll get free shipping on orders over $75. For an even better deal, be sure to use the coupon code TheChanceCube and receive 5% off your Destiny purchase. Visit their website at shoparmada.com. Armada Games. Get in here and game.
But you know what I always say, speak softly and drive a big tank.
So there were 2 content creators this week that were able to give us some spoilers as well as some more coming out of some live streams Team Covenant has recently done.
Although I feel like some of those maybe I dreamed them. But I feel like a couple of those I had seen. Maybe people had shared images that were very blurry from the stream the other day because I felt like just a couple of those, and I think I'd messaged you guys earlier in the week going, hey, this is, and I'll talk about what I think that is in a minute, but maybe, unless I dreamed it, maybe I'm getting good at predicting that kind of
maybe.
Stuff. What are the winning lottery numbers?
Tab says, have we checked our emails lately in spam folders? Well, we check our email constantly.
Every day?
Spam folder, I haven't checked.
About 5 minutes before we got on the show, I double-checked to make sure there wasn't anything cool in there.
It's never been in our spam folder before, the last 4 times we've done
I got a
spoilers.
reminder for Zumba class. I don't think that's going to get us anywhere. And
Zumba.
Sadly, no.
No, nothing. Nothing good. We do have one exciting email that hopefully will come to fruition. So,
and that's
stay
all we're going
tuned.
to say about that.
Yes. Speaking of which...
Sorry. Close things. It's snowing at home. Oh, shucks.
We do have... we do want to talk about the spoilers that were dropped this week. First off, from the Knights of Ren, they had 2...
yeah.
Yep, they had 2.
There were 2.
These 2.
Those 2.
And I can't ever say her name right.
Infus? That's how I think I've heard them
Infest
say it.
Nest.
Infest Nest.
I always want to say Infest Nest.
Infest the Nest.
Infest
That's
Nest.
how I feel like I've heard them say it in Solo.
Yep.
Infest Nest. But the
They just
S
say
and
it
the
so
Nest
fast.
runs together.
Infest
so
Nest,
it doesn't...
I didn't realize Infest and Nest.
I feel like it didn't sound like 2 names. 2 words. Anyway. I said it to you when we were on break. This is some of the coolest artwork I think some of my favorite artwork I've seen on a card.
Yeah, that may definitely up the ante with
cute.
these. And with the newer, like with the Solo stuff, they've had to recommission these because some of these some artwork from more existing characters have been recycled from X-Wing, maybe from years ago.
And this is a character we've not seen in any other Star Wars games.
Not that
to my knowledge.
I mean, I'm not an avid of the other games.
But I've seen most of their announcements come out for them because I follow FFG, and I haven't.
Nothing yet. Infus Nest, yellow, neutral, character leader scoundrel. So, of course, now we've got to really start paying attention to these subtitles. And I think what is more interesting, we'll probably talk about next week, is what subtitles from the Legacies block do we now need to start paying attention to? Because I don't know who's what. You can guess, but I have to go back and look at everybody. 1 melee, 2 melee for $1, 3 melee for $1, a shield, 2 resources for $1, which I always feel like that's funny. And who has a text, you can include up to 2 villain cards and up to 2 hero cards in your deck, so we're expanding on the the flexibility of these neutral characters. In the power action, resolve up to 3 of your scoundrel dice, showing the same symbol for free.
So otherwise, okay, and maybe somebody in the chat can help me understand you can include up to 2 villain cards and up to 2 hero cards. What the hell? Like, don't I have to pick one of the, like, because I know it's neutral.
Right.
So is it just going to depend on who I pair them with as to what I would be building with? Because to me that goes like, well, you get 4 cards in here and then everything else is going to be neutral. And I know that I'm sure that I'm reading that wrong. But it's just
I see what you're saying.
I feel like the text is confusing.
It's if you're really literal with it, I would just assume this is saying you've got a neutral character, maybe you're pairing it with a villain character,
and I can put 2 heroes.
And you can put 2 hero cards in. That's how I read it. That's what my.
And I'm just thinking from the standpoint of somebody new coming in. Like, to me, that's very confusing to a new player.
Fair enough. Or someone who really wants to be really picky about the card types.
I'm being too literal because I'm like that. You're telling me I can have 4 cards in my 30 card deck.
So I love this power action. Resolve up to 3 of your scoundrel dice, showing the same symbol for free. Now, granted, as far as we know right now, the only dice or the only cards that will be scoundrels are going to be characters. So it's going to be an elite Infus Nest plus with Han or Chewbacca, or I mean, we'll have to see what other scoundrels are out there. I'm sure Lando is probably a scoundrel, and being able to say showing the same symbol for free, right?
So sticks.
So all these sticks for free,
which is great because. Otherwise, you're going to have to I feel like you would have to find a deck that's going to generate a lot of resources to even be able to get this, to play this card well.
Right. And then
it's just, I feel like it's costly to play.
Yeah. And then the 2 resource upgrade, Infus Nest's Electro Ripper.
That's a lot of...
I'm going to just call that the ENE.
That's...
Or the ENE.
The ENE, it goes against Annie, and it's an ENE. Not an outie. 2
melee, 3 melee for $1. 1 shield, 1 resource. A special and a blank. Special reads, deal 1 unblockable damage to each of an opponent's characters. If this upgrade is on Infus Nest, remove 1 of that opponent's character dice.
I like that. I like the weapon almost better than I like the character, but I feel like you need the character to make the
right, that special is useless without character. And what's really nice, again, we have an individual character here, so if you really want to play into that specials, right, you can slot Yoda in here. I'd be curious to see an Elite Yoda. Elite Yoda's 10 points, 11 points. I think it's 10 points. Someone's going to correct. An Impulse is going to tell me in 5 seconds. But maybe Infus with an Elite Yoda would be kind of cool.
Maybe.
Getting especially if you can get those special upgrades on. But more love for these neutral characters.
Yeah, and I like that. I'm okay with that. Like, I still am waiting for the day that we see a dual-colored character. Like, that's something that I think we said early on we thought someday we would see.
I'm sure we'll see it probably by set 10. If not dual character, I wouldn't be surprised if a 4th color would be kind of weird. So that's what the...
Yellow and blue make green.
10-13. So I knew 10 was involved there, so thanks to Impulse. Over from Ira Bell, we've got 3 wonderful red cards to show.
Yeah.
Kim, would you like to do the honors?
My buddy K2SO. This is a possibly more playable version. I don't know yet. I don't know. He's 11 health, which is not bad. He's 11, 14 elite. So I feel like cost-wise, he's better balanced. You've got 2 melee, 3 melee for $1, 1 discard, 1 shield, 1 resource, and a blank. After this character is defeated, you may end the action phase. So, all that is somebody's they're gonna wait to kill K2.
Yes.
Or make it the last. I mean, that's
Either making
that's
the last
something
one.
very easy. I feel like that's fairly easy to play around.
Mm-hmm.
But it may let you get one more use out of his die before they can kill him. Power action. I like the power action though. Reroll one of your dice, then reroll up to a number of dice equal to the value showing on the die you just rerolled. I'm gonna roll a blank, but you're gonna hope that you hit the 3.
It's the worst power action use ever. It's like, roll a blank, so I can't reroll
I like
anymore.
it. I'll stink at it, but I like it.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, it's early to say, and he's a character droid. So, I don't know. Like, I want K2 to be a good thing. And
Yeah.
we're closer. I don't know if we're all the way there yet.
I see him, I mean, we'll talk about the event that kind of goes along with him. I could see him fitting into a 3-wide where he's kind of like a clutch play at some point.
Yeah.
To actually, win that.
11 health is nice. Like,
and for 11 points, slot him in with a couple more characters. We'll see. I'm curious. The A-Wing, I'm trying to decide. It's interesting that these 3 were released together, and the A-Wing seems to be the one that's like,
one of these things is not like the other.
Yes. A 2 resource support vehicle, 2 range, 3 range for $1, 1 focus, 1 disrupt, and a blank. Haven't seen disrupts on die size.
No,
in a
like
while.
I think we mentioned that in the last show, and they're starting to pop back up all of a sudden because most of them are being cycled out.
Yeah.
A lot of cards with disrupts are out the door.
After you activate the support, you may discard a card from your hand to resolve any number of its support and upgrade dice in the order of your choice. So that's kind of cool. I mean, if you can stack this A-Wing up with a bunch of mods,
that's not bad.
It's not bad.
And it's a 2 cost, so it's not a terribly expensive vehicle to get out.
No.
And would still be beneficial, I think.
Yeah.
I like getting vehicles out because it feels like if my characters are a little squishy, I'm getting backup essentially from the vehicles that's extra damage die.
And then we have Honorable Sacrifice. This is a 0 cost hero event. Defeat one of your characters to remove up to 2 dice showing damage. This feels a lot like the hero version of Best Defense, when you had to give yourself 3 damage to remove up to 2 dice showing damage. This is interesting in that, of course, Honorable Sacrifice paired with K2SO will allow you to not only remove dice, but also in the action phase. So it's kind of like a hero. I mean, it's in a way a hyperspace jump for red, but you're having to lose a character out of it. So hopefully,
if your opponent already is showing they're going to take K2 out at the end of the round, you do it beforehand and then in the round so they can't do anything to one of your other characters.
Or find some way to make K2 a guardian and have K2 start soaking up damage throughout the game.
I'm trying to think, is there anything left that makes him a guardian? Like, there's a card that gives other characters a guardian, but I can't think of what it is.
It's funny you say that because I don't feel like guardian got a lot of love in the last block. Guardian was kind of like a keyword we forgot about. So... And I only mention that because I was surprised to see it come back on these cards that were part of the Team Covenant live stream recently. They had some more cards to preview for us. Chewbacca.
This is the text under it is fantastic. Chewbacca
the Beast.
It's pretty great.
13 health. Hero Wiki Scoundrel. Character Hero Wiki Scoundrel. While you have another scoundrel in play, this character has Guardian, and that shocked me because I'm not sure I've read the word Guardian on a card in a while.
Other than, I had for draft, but that's Lobot.
Oh right,
Guardian, but
yeah, you draft more than I do. Should have talked Chris into doing a draft while you were here.
That would have been fun.
That would have been fun. 1 range, 2 modified range, 2 melee for $1. I hate mixed damage. 1 discard, 1 resource, and a blank. Of course, while you have another scoundrel in play, this character has Guardian. Nice. Before you resolve one of their characters... Before you resolve one of this character's character dice showing damage, increase its value by 1 if this character has 6 or more damage. And with a 13 health character, that's good. We've seen a text like this before with Phasma's Special.
Yes.
So this concept has been around. It's just applied slightly differently. The fact that it's every time you do damage with this character's dice, that's hard to say.
I don't like this one to the next card. Suddenly Chewie has goggles. Like, the Chewie, up until Solo, Chewie never had goggles on. Like, he just looks like the dog sticking its head out the window. A vehicle going really fast. And I know I'm segueing into the art of it, but I'm like,
That's funny.
You can't call him the Beast and then put goggles on him and stick him out the side of your window, moving car or spaceship, like a sheepdog. You just...
Mm-hmm.
Anywho's.
This is an interesting one, right? It's 2 resources to play.
You didn't say what it was.
Oh, it's called Reap the Event.
No, it's not called Reap the Event.
Oh, you're up.
It's called Reap the Reward. Oh no, my contacts are blurry and that's blurry. This is bad. Hang on. Like, I feel... Spot a scoundrel to resolve one of your character or upgrade die. Then, gain resources equal to the value that the die was just resolved for.
I like it, except it's 2 resources to play.
And I think that's what'll... It's... Otherwise, it would probably be too powerful, right?
True. So, I mean...
I just don't know that it's going to see that much play it too. I could be completely wrong.
I mean, we have to see...
That seems like a lot.
We have to see other scoundrels, I guess.
I mean, I guess it depends. So if you've got a 2 showing, this is a free. Because you're going to get the resources back.
And what's the point? At that point. There's no point. If you play a card to resolve a die, there's no point. But it does include upgrade dice. So we could look at something... We could look at... I mean, any upgrade die, right? You just have to have a scoundrel on the table. So you could pull out...
Uh-oh. Monk, why can't you hear me?
It's his fault. He screwed up our show.
Monk, turn the volume up. Turn it up, buddy. You gotta hear no evil and see no evil and speak no evil. But you gotta take your... I'm just teasing. You missed me talking about Solo Sabine, so you're... What am I to do with you, Monk?
The fact that you just have to spot a scoundrel means it could be any die that you're getting that much. So you could be looking at a 4 melee off of a saber.
And yeah. So if you were to do a equal exchange of 2 resources to get 2 resources back, totally not worth it.
Yep. So Tab's suggesting the Vibra Cutlass or the Dark Saber.
Yeah, that's when because then you I agree.
The question I would ask is, by the time you had those things on the table, is it too late for this to be even worth it? I mean, resources are always good, but towards the end of the game, like, if you're sitting on a pile of 17 resources, unless you're trying to buy them out, which is only not good for heroes, so... Anyways, I like seeing Chewbacca.
I like this new Chewbacca. 13 health is nice.
He's well, yeah.
I agree with you, though. I'm not a huge fan of mixed damage.
The other fun thing that came out of the live stream from Team Covenant is a look at some new take on some blue upgrades. So we have the Soresu.
I need you to pronounce this for me because
I keep wanting to say Japanese and I want to be like Soretsu, but there's no T in there.
I don't know enough canon to know what that's really called.
Well, no one's ever said it out loud unless you get like a book on tape.
And then, well,
I've never heard it actually called Soresu.
After hearing some of that voiceover work that was done on that, I'm not sure that that's helpful either.
Soresu?
A certain point of view and
Soresu?
Now I'm just thinking psoriasis. It's all gone out.
Soresu training and...
psoriasis
Soresu training?
Oh no! I can't ever play this card because I can't say what I'm doing. I'm gonna play this one.
A 2-resource upgrade ability, blue character only. It's got a focus, a shield, a resource, 2 special sides, and a blank. The special reads, give a character 2 shields. You may discard this upgrade to play a card titled Soresu Mastery from your hand or discard pile on attached character for free.
Oh, so you train and then you become a master.
Yeah, and I like it. It's very questy.
So you can do it for free. Oh, so it's just instead of having to pay the 1 resource.
Right, and for the it saves you a resource. It feels like
master now.
Okay, fair enough.
I like it though. I like the concept of
it's and it goes back to not Jeremy but the other dude who talks about Destiny on their articles. I don't remember his name. Rick, George, Fred, Phil, Bob. The other designer. But he talks about
Andrew?
having things be more combo-y. Maybe it was Andrew.
Help.
Soresu.
Oh,
Soresu. Soresu.
It's too late for me to try that.
I need more phonetic spelling, please. Thank you. But trying to say that combo decks are going to be relevant.
Yeah.
And this may be, I'll start looking at something like that, because you need...
I I think we're
Soresu
seeing that on
training,
several of these.
and
yeah.
then you need Soresu mastery come up in your hand. A 3 resource cost upgrade. Blue character only limit 1 form per character. So that's an interesting rule tidbit they're putting on the card. I'm sure will be in the rules upgrade as well.
Form?
So this is an upgrade ability form.
Oh, so
it is a subtype of a
this is
form,
like
a lightsaber form.
Sure. So I'm taking this out of drunken. I'm thinking Jackie Chan movie levels of martial arts that I know. So this would be a similar type of training that I know.
Yeah. And so it's got 2 focus, 2 shields, 1 resource, 2 special sides, so there's no blanks. Yay. And then after you play this upgrade, you may remove a die showing damage.
Okay.
And then the specials remove a die showing damage and give a character 1 shield.
Okay.
So it's kind of like...
And so all these bump to 2s? Everything but the resource? And then you lose the blank. I'm looking at the 2 of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like the die just like becomes a better version of what it was before.
Yeah, so you go from 1 focus, everything jumps to 2, and then you lose that blank side, which is nice.
So it's got a lot of theme to it.
I dig that. I dig the concept of it. I think you're right. I think this is the start of something else that we see coming into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that there's another card that we'll mention, I think that was spoiled here in a minute, that we'll mention similar.
So here's our Wikipedia brief. Soresu was Form 3 of lightsaber combat.
Well, then it's out of sequence.
Yeah, why didn't they release Form 1 first?
Maybe it's in the box.
It's going to be rotated out.
Not helpful, but maybe it's in the box.
And last up from this batch, we have a move event.
Okay, keep talking because there's something else.
There's a plot. There's some sort of there's
All
a
right.
plot.
I was like, now, daggone it! I know I didn't dream that card too.
Right. This is our new deflect, I believe. This is kind of a variation on that theme.
Yeah. Well, it's also deflecting slash. But
one resource to play. Activate one of your blue characters to remove a die showing ranged or indirect damage.
Okay.
If that character has a card titled Soresu Mastery. Gosh darn it. If that character has that card we just talked about on it, give it 2 shields.
Okay.
So, activate your character to remove a die. I like that. That's cool.
I dig that. I'm cool with that.
So, you're removing a die that's on the field while activating your so you get basically a double benefit out of it, which is really cool. And then, of course, if you can combo it with having that card we just talked about on it, because I can't pronounce it correctly yet.
You'll get there. You'll get there, buddy.
Maybe.
I promise.
Then you get 2 shields. Fair
play.
Huh?
Fair play.
2 shields for a resource, and then getting activation and a die removal off of it.
It's not bad for 1 cost.
This is killer.
One.
This is a great, and it's neutral, and it's a move event, which is a new thing.
It is a new thing.
It's a new subtype for events, and there is that plot that came out that said something about.
It's in here.
It's not in here. I didn't put it in here.
Oh, fiddly sticks.
Sorry.
That's the one I want to talk about. Please.
Oh, well, you can find it. We'll talk about it. Because I know you sent it to us on the message, right?
It's lightsaber mastery. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
But it does say that you can bring 2 different move events. So there's your first one.
Yeah.
Holy cannoli! So I can build red and yellow and throw that in there with this plot.
No, because it's a blue plot.
No, it's ignoring deck building restrictions. So what you guys can't see on the screen, what we don't have pulled up, is a plot called Lightsaber Mastery. That's a 2 cost. It's a blue, neutral, Nike doodles. Bring up to 2 different move events to the game and place them face down under this plot, ignoring deck building restrictions. And then action, exhaust this plot to play an event from under it, then set that event aside. So I don't know if that needs clarification or not.
Well, you have to. This plot's blue, so it'd have to be with blue characters.
It'd have to be with blue characters.
But I'm wondering if you can bring.
But it's saying I can use. The way I'm reading that text is that I'm ignoring deck building restrictions, so I can bring any 2 move events.
Yeah, and if move events are red or yellow, you could. We haven't seen them yet.
Because to me, like this, what I had said to you guys on this one is, I feel like this is the start of a sideboard that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Because oh boy, I zoomed in way too far. Because you're bringing. It's off to the side, and you're bringing additional cards now.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the start of that.
Yeah, so you do need blue on your team to play the plot, however...
It's a 2 cost.
Yes. But you don't need necessarily... If we see move events that are not blue, you
so
could
Chad's
put
saying
them in
that you
here.
would still need to have...
You still need a blue character for this plot.
And
to work. Right.
yeah, I totally agree with that. Yep.
It's interesting, and also ignoring deck building rules means you could essentially have 2 deflecting slashes in your deck, and then 2 more under lightsaber mastery.
That's how I'm
And then
understanding this. Yeah.
You can exhaust this plot to play event from under it. Then, so you still have to pay the cost, but it's a 1 resource cost. So like, oh man, this is cool.
I'm telling you,
I'm really
this
digging
is the start
this.
of the sideboard that I think there's been a lot of talk about before.
Yeah, but it's also like I always have these 2 cards in my hand. I can use them anytime I want. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Like that real.
I can use them anytime I want twice.
Yeah, and that adds an interesting level.
Do you know what I mean? Like when they're gone, they're gone.
It adds an interesting level of skill to deck building.
Yep.
Because now you know I have access to these 2 cards anytime I want.
Mm-hmm. I feel like maybe I'm wrong. If anybody's played Magic, I'm curious if you feel that this has that resonance of a sideboard. Mm-hmm. Is that because I'm not a Magic player? I'm not as familiar with it, so I don't know if that has that.
Because the sideboard concept is that you can change your deck between rounds, and you bring 10 or 20 cards or whatever it is, and once you see the field of play, you can kind of make some small tweaks.
You have not played, I guess. I view this as similar to Keyforge archiving.
Okay.
Which you have not played yet, but I'm sure there's a couple of people out here that have played it. That is, when I can archive a card, I'm basically tucking it away to pick up again at a later time.
Uh-huh.
So I have those cards in my hand and can access them at any point.
I like it. And we'll see if they're having it be a 2-point plot. I mean, we can find a 28-point pairing, I'm sure, in this new standard that'd be worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I think another big talk of the town, unrelated to these events at all, is Force Pull. So this is a 2 resource cost upgrade ability. Now, abilities have been shied away from because I think of Sith Holocron. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen a lot of abilities in the last block.
I agree. Because
they didn't want that to become a thing now that Sith Holocron is essentially gone. These ability upgrades can come back.
They made it in the first place. If you give me a card that says, hey, you get to do all this really expensive stuff for free, like, that was your own fault.
Yes.
Problem.
And it haunted them for 6 sets.
I'm like, good lord. Anyway.
2 indirect, 1 focus, 1 resource, a special on a blank, blue character only, special. Choose an opponent's character and force them to activate it. Then you may resolve one of that character's character dice as if it were in your pool.
So if I resolve it, then like they have to roll it out. I get to resolve it, and so now it's no longer. I would remove it from play.
Essentially, and so the big talk right now is using Force Pull on Vader. Vader rolls out. Sure. You see a 3 range. You resolve that 3 range against Vader. Now all of a sudden it's a damage swing of 6.
Yeah.
Now,
but you can only play it. Now you can only play it on a blue character.
Yeah, you can only play your blue character, but you can activate any of their characters that you.
This looks like the same. So I'm jumping to the art real quick. This reminds me of the chick that was the red card from the last set that was like and now somebody's like.
Do you think maybe that's an internal joke? That said that art was awful.
It was so bad. Well, this is significantly better, but I'm just so like that's it, and maybe it's the blurriness between the contacts and the whatever, but. That's just who it looks like. Why's it got to be a chick? Just saying.
Yeah. This is an interesting approach to die removal, and not just die removal. We haven't. There's been hints of resolving your opponent's dice as your own throughout the game. Mm-hmm. Never really been used a lot. Mm-hmm. It's either been really expensive or not practical. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I think that concept is very accessible and it's a neutral. So like, 2 of these bad boys on Yoda.
Cost. And it's only a 2 cost.
It's a 2 cost, right? So you can easily, you could put one of these down, turn 1 on Yoda, and start force pulling all day long. It'll be interesting to see once we get it in play and the tempo of, you're activating a character on my turn, but I'm going to get rid of one of those dice, which means you've given them an extra turn, but crippled them. So there's a handicap to it, but there's also a benefit for your opponent because now they don't have to activate a character; they can do the next thing they want to do.
Yes, because if you have Yoda and you can flip both of you manage, because it's not unique, right? So I could put 2 of them out.
Right. And it's also talking about character dice. So I'm wondering if Force Pull becomes rampant and mono blue decks or blue ability decks become very commonplace,
sure.
I wouldn't be surprised we start seeing characters who don't do the damage come in play. Then you can not worry about this as a problem.
Interesting. Yeah, that'll have to be something that you figure out how to play around.
Yeah. So
Seems awfully powerful.
Yeah, that's quite a week.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't think have we gotten a hard date yet on the release of the set.
No, but it sounds like. I mean, if they're doing this, so FFG is doing the streams. We looked it up too. This coming week, so the 19th, this coming Tuesday, and it's in the middle of the afternoon, so you're gonna have to
skip out work. I mean, do it on your lunch break.
Do it at lunch. Just watch on your lunch because it's a weird time.
Yeah.
It's like 2 or 3 their time.
Mm-hmm.
But
during their lunch break.
Yeah, pretty much. So the first one is you'll get a glimpse at the starter sets, which I don't know I don't know how excited everybody is for those. I'm excited to see them, but I'll watch it on a replay or something. And then Thursday is when they are streaming with Convergence, more Convergence boosters.
Do you think the starter decks will be Legacy starter decks were all legacies, right? There was no cards from other sets in there.
Was there stuff reprinted, or am I thinking the 2-player
You're thinking
set?
of the 2-player set. I mean, I imagine it's all probably going to be Convergence cards, but it'd be interesting to see if they threw something from the Legacies block in there.
That would be interesting. Yeah. So I don't know. So that's coming up. They're not. It's not going to be street dated before that. I don't think.
No, I did see some store advertise February 28th.
I can see that. Won't they make it February 29th?
February 29th is when the store advertised it.
You go into your FLGS on February 29th, 30th, and 31st,
and you let us know.
Convergence for free.
You let us know how that goes for you. And then we have a nice white jacket for you when it's all done.
I heard Disney's has free admission those 3 days.
Oh, I heard the park was closed. So
29th, 30th, and 31st.
Yes, all sorts of information. Anyways, so hopefully you're getting excited about the direction of this set. I think this set...
Yeah, see, I'm not crazy. The chat even says it was emergency evacuation.
The same lady from... Yeah, of course.
They needed to...
They needed to kill her.
I don't just...
I don't know what that was. Yeah, no, I like where this set's going. It's a different feel without adding... I mean, they're adding downgrades, but they're not really changing the mechanics crazy.
No.
They're just giving us more things to think about, more ways to use the cards we already have. And I think it's... Before this set comes out, we all need to go through our characters and our events and look at all these subtitles that we've just been ignoring.
Oh, yeah, you need to pay attention to... Yeah, we have been ignoring them. You're right. And I saw somebody else mention it. I want to say that maybe it was Discard to Reroll. Made a good point of, if I'm playing downgrades on your characters, where do I put that on mine? I don't disagree with him. I don't want my cards coming over into your play area.
Yeah. Because
that means you're gonna take it. You're gonna take it home on accident, not on purpose, but it's gonna go home with you on accident. So where does that go on the playing field? Because I feel like you need to put it on that character, but where do you put it? That could be next week's show. I don't even know. And
I feel like someone in Etsy's going to solve this problem for you. There's going to be a second level accessory.
Yeah, because I'm like, my board state's already kind of chaotic, especially if I'm playing a vehicle deck or something. Yep. Where do I put these? Anyway, and again, I don't disagree. I lost a Vader die at Nationals. I got it back. But a Vader die went home with somebody because I treated him poorly and rolled blanks. So what's to say my downgrade cards don't go home with somebody else either?
Well, get some really unique sleeves.
That's true. But dragons should only make certain colors.
And on that note, let's go and let's just talk about this question of the week.
There can be no mistakes this time.
So, last week's question. With 2 extra points on your character team, what crazy combos are you looking forward to trying? So we chatted about that a little bit last week. And it's really, like, we're talking about the plots. Like,
yeah,
so
that negative 2 point from the draft set.
Yeah.
That's like cripples you when you... Well, not cripples you, but you basically have to... discard a card from your hand and take 2 damage, or lose 2 resources.
Yes, but then you can... Yeah, so who are you going to bring back? So Tim had mentioned the new Grievous with a swarm of droids.
Swarm, yes, because Grievous himself lets droids be cheaper. Mm-hmm. So you may be able to slot in an extra droid. It could be interesting.
Continuing the droid theme here, Jeff Allen mentions E-Snoke, E-Talzin battle droid. Ouch.
Okay. Fair enough.
Brandon Funderburg, I can finally run Snoke Vader, but it doesn't seem to be as good as I'd hoped.
I can do it, but it sucks.
But it's not as... Ultimate Guard. A recommendation for Ultimate Guard slaves, too. Theed Invader lands on resources on turn 1. You can recover and play Fist, but that's a lot of if. I agree, that's a lot of if. That's not my if.
Yeah.
That's not my life. Ooh! Yeah, I'll let you share it, like...
Oh, Rowan T. Buck, Issa Bean, E. Maz, and Infinite.
With a big old smiley face.
Fair enough.
At the end of that one.
God, I forgot about Maz. We haven't seen Maz in a while.
I'm perfectly happy not seeing
Yeah.
Maz.
And then Cody Ray Cravey. I'm sorry if I killed that name. I was going to say there's going to be a lot of 5-die start teams coming out of the woodwork now.
I would agree with that.
The only thing will be if they can still do well with that slow start.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we moved them across the galaxy, moved very much to a 2-character meta.
Mm-hmm.
We just came out of a 3-character meta. We're going back into a 2. Well, these negative point plots, if you can deal with the negative side, 5, even 6-die starts are are possible. We'll see.
But you're right, that's pretty slow.
It slows things down a bit. Yeah.
It depends on how that... Who's to say how fast that infinite meta, or how slow that infinite meta is going to be.
We talked longer than I thought we were going to tonight. You didn't fall asleep either.
Oh, I'm not that awake. Not because of you people, it's because I got up at 4 a.m. to come see this guy. So I'm a little...
And come Disney World.
I mostly came to see you and celebrate Sarah's birthday and play with Ray.
That's true.
Disney World's just a park. Although I made Ray very angry in the car.
It wasn't your fault. She was hungry. And
I know. But I didn't have what she needed, and so she therefore now thinks I'm a horrible person.
That's fair enough.
She won't like me. She'll be like, "I'm not dealing with you, lady. You don't give me food."
Everyone, thanks for watching live. If you're watching live, if you're not, come join us every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. on Twitch, Eastern Standard Time. We have a lot of fun.
You can watch me on delay.
Thanks again for all those in the chat who've been chatting it up while it's been going on. If you want some extra fun insight and card tips and tricks, because the chat has plenty of them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that you can't see by listening to this show via podcast. Now, however, if you are listening via podcast, please review us on Apple, iTunes. We really appreciate it. Or whatever podcast app you are using. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and hit notify.
Get that dingy bell.
Yes, hit the bell. There may be new things coming to our YouTube channel. Once my daughter is slightly more self-sufficient, I'd like to do more things. But until then, you just got this. You got us. Her, me.
And Mikey.
And Mikey.
Who's joining the crew tomorrow.
Yes, he's coming to...
I saw somebody earlier in the chat say we need to share a couple things. And maybe we should do that. We may need to go live for just, all 3 of us in the same... It's never happened before.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do something somewhere.
So, stay tuned to social media channels.
Yeah, probably on our Facebook page.
Most likely.
We'll do some live stuff.
You can see us going cray-cray in the parks.
Yes. Next week's episode 121. Head over to our Facebook page, pinned to the top. You will see the following question. What card subtype are you most excited to explore in the new sets? Let us know your thoughts. We'll probably talk about subtypes next week. Maybe. Maybe not.
Depends on how many more spoilers come out between now and then.
That is correct.
You never know.
And
there could be other exciting things happening here.
There could be.
Who knows?
They're gonna live stream some stuff next week, so there'll probably more things to talk about.
Oh yeah, there's that.
There's that.
Only on TBS.
That's funny, but only to us.
Only if you were there.
This has been The Chance Cube, a Star Wars Destiny podcast, a non-profit organization dedicated to building community through gaming. Visit our website for all things Star Wars Destiny, including our price watch, meta tracker, and latest articles from the Chance Cube family. Find our latest videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit us at patreon.com/thechancecube. Your patronage allows us to grow this program and help us give back to the gaming community by sponsoring events, giveaways, and supporting our own community building initiatives. This is Mike Hill, the voice of the Chance Cube. Thanks for listening. The Chance Cube is not affiliated with Fantasy Flight Games, Lucasfilms, or the Walt Disney Company.